I'm here with Don Mathis from Kinetic Social, and we're going to talk a little bit about how social is different from some of the other channels that we're used to marketing online, and how to understand the evolution of social media and how it integrates into a digital marketing strategy.
Thanks, Marcela, and thanks for having me here. Social is different. I've been in digital media for about 11 years, and I think to a certain extent, a lot of the promise of digital media is becoming fulfilled by social in a way that it wasn't with straight display. And even from a certain respect, as it wasn't with search. Social is an opportunity to really be paid and owned and earned. It's an opportunity for virality and to leverage that virality on behalf of clients in a way that you can't do or can't do as easily with display. Now, another interesting element to all of it is that social data is a little bit of a glue that can bring some of the goodness of social, if you will, into the broader digital ecosystem on behalf of clients.
Can you talk more about that? How does that happen?
So a lot of, at least what we do at Kinetic, is focused on the data. We often say our tagline is we make sense of the world's social signal. We're less focused on social media and more focused on social data. What we're doing is harnessing data from multiple sources, especially socially oriented sources like the Twitter fire hose, for example, and making references and inferences from that and using that for a kind of predictive modeling that doesn't just work in the social media realm. Of course, it works there, and that's probably where most of our business is, but we can use it to create a very effective socially oriented lookalike audience that then you can go out, or our client can go out and target anywhere on the open web. And that's a very effective way we've found to take the social signal and kind of bring it to the broader web. In effect, a lot of the web is becoming social. I would say socialized, but I'm not sure that sounds almost like a political philosophy. But it is becoming socialized in a social media way, and social in that consumers and users of these various services are becoming more and more empowered. Push marketing, as we've understood it for the last 75 or 100 years, is certainly giving way to much more of an interactivity, and brands must engage if they really want to be compelling for their consumers.
And so how do you take that signal and push it out? You mentioned that you incorporate those signals, and how exactly do you use them?
There's a technical element to it. So we as a company run a platform and typically offer our services on a SaaS base to major agencies. So a major agency will have a plan, a particular media plan, and they'll execute it using our platform. And one of their choices is they can choose to be on Facebook, be on Twitter. We think more powerfully combine Facebook and combine Twitter and LinkedIn and whatever other source, but they can also then extend it beyond. And we work through a couple of other partner firms to be able to go out and do real-time bidding on the open exchanges or mobile bidding as well, similar idea.
And how do you see mobile playing into this whole picture?
Well, it's interesting. Mobile, and this gets kind of back to what social is, and this is relevant to your question. Social is not a channel, right? A lot of our clients look at it that way. They have a major agency will have a team that does social, and it'll have a team that does display and TV. And many others. We think of social as more of a way of differentiating. There's the social web and the open web. And when I say web, I mean that very broadly. So mobile is more of a channel to a certain extent, and social, of course, can play out on mobile. And Facebook certainly has demonstrated that, as has Twitter through their services and the availability of their services on a mobile device. Facebook, the growth has been explosive on the mobile platform. So to a certain extent, we see mobile as a channel, and we see social as a different way of looking at the overall internet ecosystem. It's almost like if you graphed it, the channels would be on your left axis, and across the top you'd have social and open. And I think a key characteristic of that is what is social to a certain extent is the virality and the sharing. But it's also, in effect, almost a permissioning. The consumer is granting permission to a certain set of data that is proprietary to the consumer, to the social network, and relying on that social network to be a proxy and trust and secure their personal information, which then becomes part of the bargain of content for advertising. So in a way, you can do so much more in that social ecosystem than you can in the open ecosystem, where consumers typically haven't granted open access. They haven't shared that much. It's a cookie-based targeting world, and you're much more limited in terms of what you can accomplish.
Thank you very much, Don. If somebody's interested in learning more about yourself, how can they find you? And tell us a little more about Kinetic Social.
Well, thanks. So Kinetic Social, a New York-based company, we are a Facebook preferred marketing developer. We work closely with Twitter and with LinkedIn. Again, based out of New York City. You can certainly find us on the web, kineticsocial.com. And we've got all the associated blogs, et cetera, that you could possibly want to look at. The company itself was founded 2 years ago. It is venture capital backed. We were backed by blue chip venture capital, or venture company, I should say, out of Cincinnati and New York. We have raised our Series A round in the earlier part of this year. We're about 46 employees now, growing rapidly, fortunately. So we're thrilled with that. And really, if I had to characterize who we are and what we are, it's a team of people who are both kind of equally passionate about being data junkies, and so much of our business is data driven, but passionate about solving the advertiser's problems, doing something different, unique, and sustainable for the advertiser, and really adding value from that perspective. And it almost sounds like a corny line to say, but it's central to the company. We're very passionate about being able to serve our clients on this basis, and I think it's the strand that brings it all together and really empowers the team.